What is Palm Beach style? It's friendly, it's gently tropical, it's comfortable. It's understanding that we have children, we have dogs, we run in and outside, and sometimes our feet aren't so clean on the way back. So it's more important for me to design something that's pretty, practical, but also whimsical, so that when you arrive here at the Colony Hotel, you know you're somewhere else other than home. I'm Mimi McMackin of Kemble Interiors, and this is the Colony Hotel. The Colony Hotel first opened in 1947. It was really the place to come to, and funny enough, it still is, which is really remarkable. I wanted to keep the charm of the hotel. I didn't want to take everything out and make it all brand new and shiny. I wanted some bumps, some age left, because some of it is so wonderfully historical. People have come here since the 40s, and they have memories of going to the bar. They have memories of dancing here. And you can't take that away. You, again, can't take the soul of the building away, or have you really done an injustice? The first room is the lobby, but nobody calls it that. It's called the living room. What we set out to do here was just to introduce you to the comfort, the whimsy, and the open friendliness of Palm Beach. The first thing that's kind of fun is this mantle. And we knew that it's the first thing you're going to see when you walk in the front door. So it had to be a ta-da. So we sketched it up and prayed a lot and had it made in India. And look at it, it's fabulous. It's terrific fun. It even has bells. And there were longer tusks that came out the side, but a few children decided they were swings. So we had to take them off. Around the room is a fantastic mural with a background of pink, which of course is the Colony Hotel. Part of the reason why this room has been such a success is because it immediately is friendly. And when you walk into the front door, you know that you're in Palm Beach. You're in the middle of an orange grove, you're in the middle of a jungle, you are happy. This is Swifties restaurant in the Colony Hotel. And one of the very first things we did with our designing was to introduce Citrus Garden, the Schumacher fabric, because it's absolutely perfect. It was also created in 1947, which was a very special date for the Colony Hotel, because that's when it first opened. Citrus Garden also influenced our design of the sconces in this room. And we created a lemon branch with a wonderful little lantern hanging from it. So at night there is atmospheric lighting, but also again with that playfulness we're trying to establish in this room. These columns were one of our challenges in this room. They're here, they're solid, and they used to support an exterior porch. At one point they were painted to look like a martini glass. So we thought long and hard about what we could do with this, and we turned them into parasols. If you look up on the inside, there's actually flexible bamboo, and that gives it that ribbed feeling. Palm Beach really does have some very special elements that may not be terribly sophisticated, but they become sophisticated. So you might have a perfectly beautiful chinoiserie 18th century table next to a rattan chair. And that's the playfulness of this town, which is why we used cane on the fronts of the bar or fronts of the cabinets, why we love anything rattan. It also reads tropical. And I have to say, durability. Rattan is a really strong material. You can bend it, you can twist it, and you can give it the whimsy that we're looking for. Every floor of the hotel has a continuation of the mural and the fantastic journey of all of the little creatures that live here. They very kindly let me sneak my husband's boat in, which is called the Lake Trail. Do you see it right here? It's a beautiful boat, beautiful man. This is one of the 4 schemes that we worked with Schumacher on, and we fondly call this one the cabana room because of the tented ceiling, as though you're at the beach and you're under this wonderful umbrella, even down to having tassels. The wallpaper is actually a classic Schumacher stripe that we were able to miter and turn into a tent, and also, of course, custom color, so it would match the fabric on the bed and the bed skirt. The fabric on the headboards and the bed skirt is from the Tropicana line, and it's normally made in linen and nylon, but for us they made it with their hospitality line, and it's in a polyester. One of the most important aspects of our design is to make sure that our client, as well as us, are on the same page. So we create these design mood boards so that they can see what their decisions were and actually see them in groupings of all the remaining parts of the room. When you do a project like this, you also have to have the knowledge of what is required in a hotel, what is practical. For us, we want to make it not look necessarily like a hotel, we want to make it look as though it's a private residence. So we have to somehow bring in the charm, bring in the fabrics, bring in the paint, whatever we can to keep a residential flavor, but very mindful of the rules of the hotel. This room is called Bloom for obvious reasons, with the pattern on the wall that my daughter Celery Kemble designed, so I couldn't think of a nicer place to use it. Schumacher was incredibly accommodating to reduce it a little bit, and they recolored it and created this wonderful blooming garden. It's really worth it to take the risk, because then you're creating something even more special. This is a great example of how much fun it was for us to work with the Schumacher hospitality division. It was very important for us when we were rescaling this fabric for this room to have it fit with the confines of the shape of the headboard. At one point, we had sort of a void in the corner, and leave it to Schumacher, they added a marvelous butterfly. So I have to say, bravo, Schumacher. This is the 3rd design in the hotel, and it was designed using a fabric called iznik, which is a wonderful Turkish design that Schumacher had, and we rescaled. This room is very special for us because we were able to give it the most peaceful feeling. If you look at the molding, it's almost as though there's some little puffy white clouds. For us, pale blue in Palm Beach is the most restful possible color, and it was kind of fun to do this when the other rooms had a bit more jazz. So this is the pink room, which we definitely had to have because the colony is known as the pink paradise. We really just worked with the tones of pink and sort of a wonderful warm brown, and a lot of the wicker and the rattan again to bring in that Florida flavor. A hard lesson to learn when I was first starting out. I worked for a wonderful woman by the name of Polly Jessup, and she used to come to me all the time and say, Lammy, stop making it so matchy-matchy. That was a hard lesson. So in here, we tried to give a flavor of something wonderfully textured, these fantastic embroidered curtains, along with something that might have a kind of a deco feel. We also put a raffia above, so once again, please always look up because there's another detail. And hopefully this pink makes you feel just as cheerful as you can in a room like this. So when I come in and I see people walking through the lobby with their puppy dogs or little children with bare feet, or the biggest joy is seeing a bride in front of the fireplace. I mean, that's like, wow, because that's forever. And that's what I see when I come back. It's a big treat for me, because if this were in another town, I wouldn't get to come back and enjoy it. I could say my favorite part was selecting the wallpapers. That was the fun part. That's what we live for. But my favorite was giving them a home.